candle is inspired by the Labo candles, and I'm obsessed. All you need is a tin can, a wick, some old candles, and a hammer. So again, super minimal supplies, and you can reuse your candles, which is amazing. So I started off by taking my jar and literally just hammering it. I hammered it so much with a hammer, it was so much fun. And I just went around the jar, gave it some nicks, and I love the rustic distressed look of this. I just think it looks so industrial and is perfect for my apartment space as well. And after that, I went ahead and put a skillet on the stove on very low heat and took 2 old candles. The autumn one on the right is new and used, or new and unused, but I just wanted to burn it down for this DIY. And I actually kept them on the stove for about 25 minutes until they melted down to wax basically, and I pulled out the old wicks, and then basically all you're going to have to do is take them off the heat, let them sit for about 10 minutes so they're not blazing hot, and glue your wick down on the inside of your hammered container, and then simply pour the wax in. And I suggest doing this over the top of a surface where if wax gets on it, it's not a big deal. So just pour your wax in, wait for it to dry, and you have your new candle. It's definitely updated and cool. Let's get into this wall hanging, and all you're going to need is some wood dowels, yarn, parchment paper, paint, and a hot glue gun. So I first started off with these wood dowels, which I found at Michael's for about $3. They're just like toothpicks without the points. And the nice thing about gluing on top of parchment paper is that the hot glue peels off instantly. It doesn't stick at all. So you can glue on top of it, create shapes, and then pull them off later. So I actually created these hexagon shapes using these small wooden dowels, and I created 2 hexagons that were smaller or just like hexagon shapes themselves. And then I created a larger centerpiece that was actually 3 hexagons connected. And a cool little tip for you guys is you can actually burn down those weld points with the tip of your hot glue gun. So if you do need to like melt that down or make it look smoother or anything, if you added too much glue, use the tip to melt it down. And this is the center point right here, this like triple hexagon shape. And then all you're gonna need to do is take a bit of string, yarn, whatever you wanted to use to attach, and attach your shapes together, and you really have your brand new wall mobile hanging. And I think this would look so cool on a window, on a mirror, on a wall, anywhere you want to add a little bit of extra decor. I also forgot to mention that I actually kept it plain wood over the black paint that I was originally going to do because I liked the wood look much better. I feel like a pillow is always necessary, so I'm starting off with some jersey pillowcases, black dye, a paintbrush, and some foam cups. And I also did use a trash bag, which I'm laying down on the table right here just to protect my surface. And I'm going to lay out my foam cups or plastic cups or whatever you can just dispose of later. And I added a half cup of warm water or hot water to each cup. And then what I did after that was used the RIT powder dye, and I put 1 teaspoon in each cup, but I varied it. So 1 teaspoon in the first, 2 teaspoons in the second, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth. So basically it's just a more concentrated dye as I go down. And the sucky thing kind of about this was that when you didn't have enough of the black dye, it was actually purple, which I didn't like at first, but as it dried, it actually kind of grew on me and I did like the purple. So keep that in mind if you're wanting a black or gray gradient. You're not really going to get it with this dye. It's going to be more purple based. And all you're going to do is take your wide paintbrush, and I just use like one of those painter's paintbrushes that you paint a house with, and it just allowed me to soak up a lot of dye at once, and I created a gradient like this, and that's really all. And I also did this one, which I think looks so cool with the split down the center, and the other half is white. In love with this.